p.m. here in Douala, the regional capital of the littoral region. The news on Canal 2. Good evening. I am Elie Smith, and before everything, happy Valentine's Day to you all. The headlines. Communication stakeholders in the Upper Sanaga division have decided to market themselves to the public. How? Gladys Ambo will be telling us in this newscast. While in the east, precisely in Baturi, tribal war between the Kakos and the Muslims is destroying the tranquility of that provincial town. Those were the headlines. As I was announcing at the introduction of this newscast, the communication stakeholders in the Upper Sanaga division have decided to market themselves. Details with Gladys Ambo.
Exchange of documents to seal a partnership. After 25 years, the city of Douala has recognized the Fomaric Festival as a cultural event of reference. A convention to this effect was signed on the 13th of February between the delegates of the Douala City Council, Dr. Frit Ntone, and Koti Francois, president of Fomaric Festival. I used to say that
Up there, that was Crystal Katala, but we are going to come back onto the story that I announced at the headline that communication stakeholders in the Upper Sanaga division have decided to take or market themselves. Details with Ambo Gladys.
These are journalists and cameramen in the Upper Sanaga division of the Central region of Cameroon. They have created a network to discuss problems plaguing their sector. The executive, made up of 7 members, was elected during one of their meetings that held in Nangai Boko. The idea is aimed at bringing together journalists and cameramen to boost socio-economic development of our division. The main problem is that we do not know each other. Photographers are not known. People are not aware that communicators exist in the division. It is therefore important for us to come together and ensure we implement that. The executive members who have a 2-year mandate are expected to change mentalities and for members to cultivate the habit of saving. The communication stakeholders are expected to meet once a month. I am happy to be a member. There are several things which is expected of us. We will ensure that during this first mandate, we achieve much so that we could be re-elected again. In the short term, the communication stakeholders in the Upper Sanaga division are expected to work hand in glove with the National Trade Union for Journalists to permit their members obtain press cards.
Well, we are going to the east where authorities and security forces in Baturi, located in the Kade division, have stepped in to resolve a conflict between 2 communities living in the town. They are the Kakos and the Muslim communities that have been bogged down in a confrontation between the Muslims and the indigenes who are Kakos. The origin of the conflict is that a Muslim is allegedly to have killed a Kakos. Once again, Gladys Ambo.
The town of Baturi in the Kade division of the East region of Cameroon has been the scene of a spectacle for the past days following tensions between young Muslim commercial motorbike riders and Kako indigenes living in the Bondesi neighborhood in Baturi. According to reports, the Kako indigenes had stormed the quarters in the town, armed with knives, swords and other sharp objects, searching for a purported assassin who allegedly killed one of theirs in a fight. The situation later took another twist and turned into an intertribal war between the Muslims and the Kakos. Authorities, the police, gendarmes and other rescuers stepped in when the conflict degenerated. Both parties raised barricades in every junction and burnt tires and other objects. The SDO for the KDI, Emmanuel Halfa, left the scene when the flames were put out and ensured calm had reigned. It is, however, not clear if both conflicting parties had reached a consensus.
Leaving the East region to the northwest, where the Northwest Governor Adolphe Lele Lafrique has continued with his visits to schools in the region to evaluate the effectiveness of classes resuming. He began in Wom Menchum Division and continued to Fundong in the Boyu Division. According to our correspondent Annie Collins Annie, turnout is very timid as most classrooms remain largely empty in the region. The governor has meanwhile been calling on parents, encouraging them to send their children back to school. Henceforth, the Douala City Council will partner with organizers of the Fomaric Festival. A partnership agreement to that effect was signed yesterday. Crystal Katala has more.
Exchange of documents to seal a partnership. After 25 years, the city of Douala has recognized the Fomaric Festival as a cultural event of reference. A convention to this effect was signed on the 13th of February between the delegates of the Douala City Council, Dr. Frit Ntone, and Koti Francois, president of Fomaric Festival. I used to say that our mission is not only to construct roads, it's also for the interest of the public. It should be extended for the global interest of citizens and of big artistic cultural rendezvous, which are also included so that the population will feel at ease. The objective is to ensure the promotion of culture in its diverse forms. This convention will henceforth include the Fomaric Festival in the calendar of activities of the Douala City Council. The Douala City Council intends to provide material support, assist technically, and also contribute in the aspects of human resource. The sum of 60 million francs CFA has been allocated for that. The town gains, first of all, by improving on the well-being of its citizens for this type of entertainment. That is why an important aspect of the convention would change the entrance fee from 5,000 francs to 2,000 francs so that it will be accessible to everyone. For the promoter, this is a new era which begins. The delegate has recognized that Fomaric is important for the city of Douala. So I am very happy for what we have just done. What is to note that the Fomaric Festival that was launched on the 8th of February at Kamterbe Panda is expected to end on the 12th of March 2017.
That was Crystal Katala. Then a little bit up north, that is precisely in Mwanko, where rulers of that part or that locality have asked or called on youth to be hardworking. This appeal was made during the last National Youth Day. That was a little bit late February 11. Banla Modest comes back on the message from rulers and the Youth Day in Mwanko.
The traditional rulers in Wanko subdivision have hailed the indomitable lions for their victory, calling on the youth to follow their example. The 51st edition of the National Youth Day was marked by the presence of a good number of youths, together with the traditional rulers, stakeholders, and administrative authorities. The youths during the march past manifested their patriotic engagement and unity through songs and dance performance. The ceremony was presided by the divisional officer who, through his speech, expressed satisfaction and encouraged the youth to be hardworking.
I wish to thank the different organizing committees for the success of the event, and then also thank the youth for the march past. It was well done. I want to ask them to hope and to keep in confidence in our institutions.
It was with satisfaction that the ceremony came to an end.
Well, that was Banlaf coming back on the 11th February National Day. And you know, we are all in Valentine's Day. This is February 14th. And
here
people
we're going to
across
discuss
the world
some more.
exchange candies, flowers, and gifts with their loved ones, all in the name of Saint Valentine. It is considered to be the best day to express love and care for a person that you really love. According to the Catholic Encyclopedia, there were at least 3 early Christian saints by that name who were said to have been martyred on February 14th. Valentine, who was a priest, served during the 3rd century in Rome when Emperor Claudius II had decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families. He outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine felt this was unfair, so he celebrated marriages in secret. When the emperor found out, he was thrown out in jail and sentenced to death. It wasn't until more than 200 years that 14th February, that is today, was proclaimed Saint Valentine's Day. And today's celebrations continue in Cameroon and here in Douala, in the littoral region, where our reporter, that is Emmanuel Bevrika, went out and found out what some of the Cameroonians on the streets of Douala were thinking about Saint Valentine.
No, it's good to celebrate Valentine's Day. I will first of all want to extend Valentine's Day and my greetings to all my friends, to my loved one. Valentine's Day was all about lovers. But Valentine's Day is good to celebrate because why? We have so many lovers outside. Even I standing in front of the camera, I also have a lovers. Before we came, Valentine's Day was existing more than 60 years back or 150 years back. So it's good to celebrate Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day is the day that will show our true lovers and prove to our lovers that we love them.
I know that Valentine's Day is a day that has been created in Italy, but I don't know why they created that. But I simply want to tell you that it's still good that you can have your friend, that you can chat with him, have time with him on a day like this.
For me, I know that Valentine's Day is the day that lovers share their loves. Yeah, and it's not only for lovers, even your friend, your family, and so on and so forth.
Everybody can celebrate Valentine's Day because it's a month of love, it's a season of love, so you have to show some love to the people you care, your family, your husband, your children, anybody. So that's for me, that's what I know about Valentine's Day.
So Saint Valentine's Day is good to celebrate, but there are so many ways to celebrate. But the problem is that some, let me just say, Africans, they don't know how to celebrate. They think that maybe maybe to love someone is to have sex with her, because so many people this day they will have sex with their loved ones. That's not the way. So Saint Valentine's Day was a day when two lovers, they really love each other. So due to some life issues, they were separated, so they decided to make this day a special day for the loved ones. So it's nice for lovers to celebrate it, but they should celebrate it positively and not negatively.
Well, if you haven't yet wished happy or Valentine's Day to your loved one, please do it before it is too late. Well, we'll be going out of Cameroon, and this compilation is done by Annette Ifeti, whereby she talks on Nigeria, where the government has declared war on the parallel markets in a bid to protect the Nigerian economy that is already in recession. And she also goes to Somalia, Zimbabwe, and the United States of America. Annette Ifeti.
About 20% of the Nigerian currency, the naira, in circulation in the West African states is fake. Former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Obadiah Malaifa, made the revelation at a budget hearing at the National Assembly. He has called on the authorities to crack down on fake money to protect the economy. He has blamed the economic crisis in Nigeria on a wide range of factors, including the sharp fall of oil prices, dangling foreign reserves, poor banking practices, regulatory failures, and corruption. A court in Somalia's semi-autonomous region of Puntland has 7 suspected militant Islamists to death for killing several top regional officials. Some of them stand accused of being members of the Al-Qaeda-affiliated Al-Shabaab group. Their lawyer says he will appeal against the ruling because there were no credible evidence against the 7. International experts have gathered in Zimbabwe to discuss the outbreak of armyworms that is damaging crops in several South African countries. The 3-day meeting in Harare will try to come up with a comprehensive plan to halt the advancement of the caterpillars in Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, and South Africa. It is not clear how the species of armyworm native to that of the Americas reached Africa. The National Security Advisor of Donald Trump has resigned. Michael Flynn has resigned over allegations he discussed U.S. sanctions with Russia before Donald Trump took office. Mr. Flynn is said to have misled officials about his calls with Russian ambassador before his appointment. Mr. Flynn had initially denied having discussed sanctions with Russian ambassador and Vice President Mike Pence, but he came under further pressure on Monday when details of his phone call emerged in the U.S. media. The Russian government has described Michael Flynn's resignation as a U.S. internal problem.
Well, it is on that foreign page where the first casualty in Trump's government is known that we shall be putting an end to our newscast tonight. Once again, happy Valentine's Day to you all.